Hello and welcome to the Age of Histories everyone, and to the 7th episode of the definitive list of Aoe2 castles for 2025. Today we shall be discovering another 4 brand new castles from parts of the world where I would wager most of us know very little about. But with these videos and many more to come, we can scout the darkness of our minds' minimaps and see what gold mines lay just outside our knowledge. So strap yourselves in and let's wallow. Right out the gate, I hit a brick wall, pun very much intended, whilst researching this video. As stunningly beautiful the Berber castle is, oozing with its North African and Islamic stereotypical architecture, I could not find a direct inspiration for its design. The gate is undoubtedly taken directly from the Baba Gnaw, a late 12th century monumental gate in Marrakesh built by the Caliph Abu Yaqub Yusuf. The machicolations just above the castle gate seem to be inspired by the wonderful masonry at Kasbah Tawrit, built in the 18th century by the Glau tribe, whilst the crenellations seem to be taken directly from the Kasbah Audayas, which was originally built in the late 11th century, but strengthened soon after by Abd al-Mumin. However, these do not explain the all-rounded nature of the towers and wall of the game design, as Berber fortifications that I could find were very blocky in nature. The dome at the top seems to be very loosely based on one of the domes at the Great Mosque at Cairo 1, but I'm not so sure about this. Once again, I call upon you, my dear viewers, to lend me your opinions, and if we manage to pinpoint the exact structures, I will revisit this castle in a later video. As you may have noticed, the farther afield we travel from the European continent, the more abstract our castles become, as many parts of the world simply did not have them in the sense we understand them in the West. Another such example of this is the Burmese castle, with the walls and crenellations being inspired directly from the walls at the Mandalay Palace, which was built by King Mindon Min in the 19th century, with the gates seem to be derived from doors of the more than 2,000 remaining temples at Bagan. The base of the pointed structure at the top of the castle is directly derived from the Myint Mon Taung shrine, whose builders and age is not clear but seems to be between the 14th and 19th centuries, with the top of the dome being drawn from the Mya Tiang Tan Pagoda, constructed in 1816 by Prince Pagidao. Finally, the watchtower on the left and some other elements to me seem to be a bit more stylized imaginations of the developers and do not seem to fit anything specific. Unlike our previous 2 entries, the Ethiopian castle is directly inspired by one real-life fortification, the Fazil Gebi in the northern Ethiopian city of Gondar. The fortified city, whose construction began in the 1630s by Emperor Fasilides, served as a political, cultural and religious center for the Ethiopian Empire, merging a unique blend of Ethiopian, Portuguese, Indian and Moorish architecture styles. This complex includes palaces, churches, monasteries and public buildings surrounded by high stone walls that watched over and protected its residents for exactly 3 centuries until the Italians flew in the 1930s. Doing research for this video has really made me feel like a conspiracy theorist, looking for connections all over a continent. That said, it is fair to understand that designing a castle aesthetic from yet another civilization that did not have castles in the way we understand them makes this model another hard find. But I believe the Malian castle essentially molds together Berber and Sudano-Sahelian architecture, which makes sense given that this model was previously used for African civs. With that in mind, I managed to identify 2 specific locations that seem to have been blended together, and those are the Jin Gereber Mosque in Timbuktu, built in 1327 by Mansa Musa following his Omega inflationary pilgrimage to Mecca, and the Ksar Ayid Ben Haddu, which was erected by the Berbers in the 11th century, serving as a strategic stronghold on the edge of the Atlas Mountains. The Persian castle is one more design whose real-life inspiration is far more straightforward, and that is the fortress at Argabam in southeast Iran. Originally constructed in the 6th century BC by the Achaemenids to serve as a strategic stronghold and trade hub along the Silk Road, it was strengthened into what we see today by the Sassanids sometime in late antiquity and eventually expanded by the Safavids in the 16th century. A small interesting detail on this castle design is the two X's carved on either side of the gatehouse, which are known as Derafshkavyani, an ancient symbol and banner of legitimacy from at least as far back as the Achaemenids and represented the unity and strength of Persian kings. Without a doubt, this was one of the harder videos to research and compile, as the Berber, Malian and Burmese designs were hard to find their inspirations. I hope you will join me next time as we reach the final stages of our journey, where we shall be hopping from Europe to the Far East and all the way to the Americas, so don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it truly helps us immensely. But goodbye for now, and thank you for watching.